Alright, Hockenheim GP in the rough GT3 RS. Let's see how this goes. This is one of my first decent races that I've had using the Oculus Rift cv1. I was getting ready, just taking a look around the car. The sense of immersion in this game is just unreal. To be able to sit in a race car in your basement is just epic. You know, it's one of those things that you always kind of dreamed of as a kid. And now you get to do it as an adult. Oh, took a hit there. Right off the hop here, you're usually getting banged into a few times. You know, I try to be as clean as I can, but you know, you always have guys using you to make corners and stuff like that. But usually those guys get left behind. You know, after a couple laps, you weed out the competition. You know, the guys that know what they're doing actually, you know, stay in the front, and the guys that ran end up at the back. So I tried to play with a couple camera angles here on this race here, just to kind of give you a better kind of feel as to what it's actually like to be in one of these races in a simulator. Before the Oculus cv1, I was using a 46-inch TV, and you had decent immersion, but it was nowhere near as good as this. The current graphics card that I'm running is a GTX 970. It's overclocked. You can bump the pixel density up using the Oculus debug tool, but I don't know, I found it didn't really make too much of a difference for me. Maybe it's because my graphics card is kind of at its max at that point anyways. But for me personally, it didn't really do a whole lot, especially if you're doing an online race with multiple people. It seems to maybe get a little bit laggy. Nice drift there, hey, I don't even know what place that guy's in, but just the camera angles, and you know, when you're getting inside of somebody and they're getting sideways, it's pretty cool to be able to see that. You know, he got a little too sideways when I got by him, and then switch the camera angle. You know, you get a good look in the car, and the tracking of your head in this thing is just to the T. It's just perfect. I just really like how you're able to place the cars exactly where you want them, and you can look into the corner just like you would do in a real car. You're always checking your mirrors, so you can see in my head I'm constantly looking up. You don't really get a sense of the heads-up display on the screen here, but it's basically you got like a floating map in your top left. It's almost kind of like a 3D map, and it shows the track or whatever, and it has all the other guys on it. Shows the guy you're trying to chase down, and then you know the other racers on the track. So you know, you're constantly referencing that, you know, just to make sure you know you're not losing too much time, and kind of use it as a reference point. Also, the place that you're in and your times, it's basically floating, kind of like it would be as a heads-up display in a car. It's pretty cool. The mirrors, they come in such that you can see in the mirror in the video here, but you're actually, when you're in the car, it gives you such a feeling of immersion when you can look in your mirrors like you would actually in a real car. It's just, it's unreal. Like I can't really explain it. You have to try it to actually, you know, believe it. And I can't imagine where it's going to be in the next, you know, 10 years. You know, if they could double the pixel density, or you know, just work on the displays. As the hardware becomes more affordable. Right now it's not so affordable, but you know, I consider myself lucky to be able to use this stuff. I think it's, you know, it's a blessing that I can afford to be able to buy, you know, this hardware, you know, and let people try it. You know, I love to have people come over and we can try this simulator out. And you know, you basically pick your favorite car, okay? Now jump in it and you can go drive it. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly as realistic, you know, as actually being in the actual car, but for me it's as close as I'm gonna get, unless I go and rent a car, you know, and then it's on me if I crash it. Whereas here you can go head to head against other racers, and, you know, you can have fun. You actually get your adrenaline going a little bit. On my clubsport V2, I have the Jack Spade files on there. I found the force feedback on
the gap to the leader
Project
is 7
Cars
seconds.
is
Good job.
pretty lacking. Personally, I like a lot of force feedback, and I like a lot of tension in the wheel. Like, not so much that it's getting ripped out of your hand, but you know, you want to try to make it feel like it would be in real life. I find by, you know, adjusting the dampening and the spring, I can get a little bit more out of the wheel, what I'm after as far as feel goes. It just feels like it has a bit more tension on it.
Nice one, that was the fastest lap of the race.
You know, just right out of the box, it's quite light. You don't really feel much in the wheel. But I found doing the Jack Spade tweaker files, adding those into the game, and then also just tweaking out the actual wheel force feedback settings, gives you quite a good feel on the steering wheel. As far as the pedals go, I did the RC car shock mod on the brake, and then I also put a stiffer spring on the gas pedal. I found that the ones that came from Fanatec were just a little bit too flimsy. You can see in their clubsport V3 pedals, they've addressed those issues. My V2s have been working great. I haven't really had any issues with them. Sometimes they get a little bit of a USB, I think, issue with the PC. You have to unplug them because you get a little bit of spiking in the gas and then the brake. So I don't know. It's usually if you unplug the USB and plug it back, that problem resolves itself. I also did the Derek Spears Designs Tilton style pedals. I just like the way those ones feel compared to the ones that came on the Fanatec ones, and you can see also on the clubsport.
Try and stop this guy getting underneath you. Cover that inside line.
Tilton style pedals. They're kind of more of a race car pedal. As far as the chassis goes that I'm in RSEAT RS1. I like it's very solid. The seat is a little bit uncomfortable, you know. As a sim racer, you're kind of sitting there in the seat for, myself personally, I don't do long races, but after a while your back does start to get a little bit sore. The cushioning is so-so. I've heard of people adding more cushioning to the seat to combat that issue. On mine, I never did buy the speaker mounts. Instead, I did a custom, I guess, mount that was, I used the two seat bell rings in the rear of the seat, and then I mounted, just basically got a couple pieces of aluminum, bent them to the shape that I wanted them, covered them with the 3M carbon fiber vinyl just to kind of make it match the rest of the seat. And then I just ran the wires up through the chassis. The one that RSEAT has with theirs is mounted down low. I figured, you know, you're going to get more sound out of this thing if the speakers are up by your head. You know, it'll sound more realistic. So that's the reason why I mounted it that way. And I didn't want to spend $100 or whatever they charge for that kit for the speakers. So, you know, I did this for a fraction of the cost of that. So, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. But now I'm using the speakers in the Oculus Rift, so the surround sound is basically useless at this point if I'm doing the sim racing. The headphones are pretty decent in Oculus Rift, I found. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. As far as the menus go in the Oculus Rift, you can use the headset to choose stuff in the menus, but it's a little finicky. It doesn't really work the way I personally would want it to work.
That was a string of
so I usually find myself
just need to pick up the pace a little bit to catch the cars in front.
Select, because sometimes it'll just select stuff that you don't want it to select. If the headset's focused on somebody's name or, you know, a different thing in the menu, it'll pick that when you don't want it to pick it. So, as far as the comfort of this Oculus Rift goes, I say it's pretty comfortable. If you do wear it for more than, you know, a half an hour, you do get some marking on your face, kind of around the eyes, just from it being pushed to your face for, you know, an hour or whatever, which is, you know, understandable. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'd like to try the Vive just to, you know, compare the two. I heard that it's a little bit brighter of a screen display. I find the Oculus is good, but I can't really compare it to anything else. As far as that goes, I'm pretty happy. I mean, until I try a Vive and I can kind of compare the two head to head, I'm really just going by what I've tried with the Oculus Rift. Well, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this video here. I'm going to try and do, you know, a couple more videos of the sim racing here. I have the Assetto Corsa and the Project Cars Dirt Rally, and but I find myself coming back to the Project Cars. I just haven't really had enough time to set up Assetto Corsa yet to the way I like it. But I'm sure it's an awesome game too. Here we go. Second place. Yeah, pump that fist, boy. Get some. Well, thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you come back and watch some more. Cheers.